Good morning, happy Monday, the month of Halloween, October 2nd. What's going on? Hey, did you see last week? Travis King, he's the soldier that wandered over or purposely went over, debatable, into North Korea a couple months ago. The U.S. has secured his release. We'll see what happens to him in the upcoming future here. The other thing is, Bill Gates, it's rumored that he is buying up a lot of the burned out land in Lahaina, Maui. Ooh, you know, the Hawaiians consider their land very sacred, so we'll see what goes on with that too. And other news, worthless news that who cares to use, but we all want to hear about. Travis Kelce, the tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs, and Taylor Swift seem to be like they're right now the it couple. And we can't get enough of that. Anyway, let's get to today's topic. That's right. Today's topic is your prescription drug plans for senior citizens, the premium increase. You know, this past week, I've probably fielded 10, 12 calls every day. Renewal notices have gone out and people calling me saying, my insurance premiums on my prescription drug plans, it seems like they're doubling. Why is that? Well, the Inflation Reduction Act that President Biden came out with states that diabetics should only have to pay $35 a month for their insulin supplies. We all know that there's a donut hole, and after the donut hole, now everything's covered at 100%. So the plans have gotten much, much richer in benefits. So it's a good thing if you're going to pay less for your money. Who wouldn't vote for that? But you know, there's a song out there that says, you don't tug on Superman's cape, you don't spit in the wind, you don't pull the mask off of old Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with Jim. Jim is you and me, I guess. I don't know. But here's a ball. You throw it up, it comes down. You throw it up, it comes down. Got to be careful. When you vote for politicians who have these things, be careful you know what you're voting for, because you know what can happen with that ball? It can come and hit you in the head. And in this case, we're getting higher premiums. Now, I'm not saying it's not a bad thing. It's part of insurance is everybody pays a premium, so that way when something happens, nobody has to suffer the entire loss. That's just really one of the bases of insurance. However, let's talk about the drug companies here. I firmly believe, and many of you have told me the same thing, is that everybody in business should make a reasonable 20% profit. That seems to be a generic statement across the board, some years higher, some years lower. We also believe that you can only charge what the market will bear. Are these drug companies behaving accordingly? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm not in there. I'm not doing their sheets and whatnot to see if they're making a reasonable profit. I think everybody's entitled to a reasonable profit. After all, this is the United States of America. The question I would ask the executives of the drug companies and people who decide these things is, can you stand before God one day and say you did right? Did you make a reasonable profit for your business to see that it's secured and stays in business without taking advantage of unique marketplace that you have? Your marketplace can determine somebody's life or death. And the same thing goes to our politicians. You've gotten into office by telling us something. Are you just telling us something to get into office so that way you can have the perks of the office? Or are you really doing it for the benefit of America? I don't believe you are, plain and simple. I think that when you sat there and told that the insurance company should pick this up, insurance companies too have to make a reasonable profit, and you're basically turning the health insurance industry into a nonprofit organization. If they're charging more, maybe you should have said that. You know what, we're going to be picking these things up for you so that nobody has to be paying $6,000 a year. However, it's going to cost you a little bit more in your insurance premiums. You know, we're mostly reasonable people. And as the genie said in Aladdin to Aladdin, tell the truth. I don't think that really exists today, does it? Yes, maybe I'm being a little cynical. Anyway, one of the other things that the Inflation Reduction Act wants to do is, here's a list of 10 medications. Those are going to be targeted right now. The government is going to try to negotiate or renegotiate the prices of these medications. And they're saying that they'll come out with a list September next year, I believe. But they won't go into effect if they can get lower pricing until 2026. On the other hand, because as I said, for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction, the drug companies don't like this, so they are going to be taking the government to court. So we're going to see how that all, works itself out, and hopefully everybody can benefit. The drug companies can still make a reasonable profit. The politicians can live up to their promises, and we as the public won't get hurt too bad on premiums, and people who need these medications won't have too high of an out-of-pocket. Maybe we can figure out how there can be a win-win-win situation for everybody. Hey, what's going on at the MLD agency? Well, last week we were able to help out a family transitioning to Medicare. We were able to work with a group for renewal and help another family who's trying to transition into personal health insurance. And we actually have a new fan. Is the agency going to the dogs? I don't know. And unfortunately, we lost a couple of people here. They will be sorely missed by their family and friends. Anyway, that's what's going on at the MLD agency. Until next week.